Meanwhile, at the Graham Rich Manor in the living room, Nicole and Joshua both came in. Wow, what an epic wedding today. That's one way of putting it. And as they stop and turn and face each other, I cannot believe Nate's been sleeping with both my aunt and cousin. That's just sick. Why? Just because they're Cullens and all? Please tell me you're not gonna defend them lot to me. Meanwhile, at the Grand Promenade, Michelle's sitting at a table on her iPhone looking at information. To her husband David came to where she is with 2 cups of coffee. And her wife, just as she looked up and saw him, just as he gave her one, which she got, just as he went and sat down. Why the hell did you stop me from calling Sheridan and Dustin? Because we don't need to overexcite them yet. You're right. Michael did learn a life-changing event, which may take some time to adjust. And what would happen should he discover the truth? Meanwhile, at the Seabrook Motel in Sean's room in the bathroom, Angela is looking at herself in the mirror in her bathrobe. And as she has a flashback of her and Vince talking, I get it. You and Kristen did what you did to protect Michael's paternity, which I don't buy. So you do believe me. What I don't accept is you and Nate sleeping around. And as Angela went and head to the door, which Vince saw. Where are you going? And as Angela stopped and turned and faced her husband. You made it quite clear that our marriage is over, so I'm staying at my parents' house. And as the flashback ends with Angela leaving the bathroom, just as Sean came in with groceries, and as he went and sat them down, and as he saw her and sensed something wrong. Are you alright? Meanwhile, at Angela and Vince's house, Vince got the door, and it's Isabella. What are you doing here, other than to gloat about your sister? Look, I don't enjoy this at all, and you know that. Do I? Because earlier you seemed to begin a so-called thorough all of it wrong, right? Look, I need to be alone, so excuse me, I came because I was worried about you. You really think I'm doubt or something? You just want the status of what my marriage with Angela is. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in Nate's room, Nate's lying in bed with some bandages from the bruise from Jeff's brutal attack. And as he thinking, just as Kristen came in and closed the door and turned and saw Nate, who saw her. How are you? Well, in a technical code, not good. And as Kristen came to where Nate is, look, I know my brother did this to you. I'm sorry. You don't have to be sorry when in the end, he will be. Meanwhile, at the Graham Clinic in Brody's room, Rita came in and saw Adam checking Brody's vitals while he's still lying in a coma in bed. And as she went to where her husband is. How is he? And as Adam turned and saw her, still no movement. But based on the data I did, he's still in there, fighting. Me cousin is a strong fighter. After all, he was one of the legendary warriors that saved us from the great beast from taking souls. I just cannot wait for them to move him back to the main hospital soon. Meanwhile, at the Oceanside Rich Manor in the living room, Joanna is sitting on the couch waiting. To her husband and her son came in, and she saw them and got up and went to where Scott and Chris is, and arrived just in time for her to hug her son Scott. Thank you for coming at such short notice. And as she pulled away and went to where her husband is, and as they both faced Scott, no problem. I heard what happened at Karen and Bradley's wedding today. Yeah, it sort of went downhill from there, including what happened at, that part I know. So tell me, what are his chances should Nate press charges against him? Meanwhile, at the Good Charm Rich Manor in the living room, Claire's talking to Bradley and Aaron with Karen and Rachel there. Basically, Bradley and I managed to talk Jeff down from killing Nate. And that's when Rachel and I walked in. Okay, I understand you sent Jeff home, yeah? Yes. Whether or not he went home remains to be seen. He's home. Gloria called me a few minutes ago. Really? And you buy that? For all we know, she could be covering for him. Well, my husband should be at his place as we speak. In fact, I'm gonna go call him right now. Would you excuse me? And as Claire got her iPhone out and went and left the room, while the others continued talking. I honestly understand where he's coming from. Jeff was just protecting his family. Yes. And I gotta say, that's very noble of him. Meanwhile, at the Grand Promenade, Michelle and David are talking. Really, David? I'm just saying that the whole thing of what we're doing, is it worth it? Of course it is. Look, we have come too far and I'll be damned to turn back now. The fact of the matter is, Michael is our son. Well, what do we have here? And as Rebecca came to where they are, and Michelle and David saw her just as she arrived. You know, you got a lot of nerve showing up after what you did. I should have figured more Kristen's family heard what happened today. Why do you even care or listen to? You're hanging in a place that my family owns now. If you're about to ask us to do one, that's just too damn bad. We're not going anywhere. Meanwhile, at the Seabrook Motel in Sean's room, Angela and Sean are talking. Thank you for coming to my aid. No sweat. I'm always here for you. I see that. Just wondering to why you would go all through the trouble because I care about you, Angela. No way I'm walking away now. Thank you. That is why I need a favor. Sure. What is it? A lot has happened, and being humiliated isn't exactly one oi. Michelle and David may have won, but me, I truly think that Michael is your son, paper or not. Only thing is, they have proof, which is why I'm gonna need your help in leaving town. Meanwhile, at Angela and Vince's house in the living room, Isabella and Vince came and stopped in the middle of the living room and continued talking to each other. Look, I'm not at all happy with what happened between you two. Angela and I are at a rough patch for now. She's put you through hell, cheating with you, Nate, just to keep Michael from finding out who his real parents are. You truly believe what that video we all saw was? I don't know, Isabella. What do you mean? I think it's awfully convenient that Michelle and David chose my parents' wedding to exploit the revelation to them being Michael's parents. You think there's more to this story? Honestly, yeah, I do. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in Nate's room, Kristen and Nate are talking. I really don't follow. Well, let me break it down for you. Jeff is going down for what he did. So you are pressing charges against him? You damn right I am. He tried to kill me, Kristen. I know my brothers can be overprotected when it comes to family. And then there's this rivalry between us, yeah. And I'm in here while he's free like nothing has happened. Okay. I don't think there's nothing I'm gonna say that is going to change your mind. Why the hell should he? And as Kristen turned and saw Vanessa, who's at the door. Meanwhile, at the Graham Clinic in Brody's room, Brody's lying in bed in a coma while Rita and Adam are talking. Well, your mom's already got the ball rolling, and soon it will happen. You know, it still bothers me that my own parents' wedding reception got derailed. No thanks to Michelle and David. Truth be told, I don't believe a word of it. Would you mind doing a DNA test? Absolutely, should Michael ask me to. And as Rita has a flashback of her and Brody talking. One of these days, the love of your life will come to you. You know this how? You know what? Never mind. Thank you. And as the flashback ends with Adam sent something wrong with his wife. Everything alright, love? Meanwhile, at the Oceanside Ridge Manor in the living room, Joanna, Chris, and Scott are talking. Mom, Dad, I'm gonna be honest with you. If Nate's pressing charges, Jeff could be sent down. Have you talked to your brother about becoming his no-need? Because I'm already am his lawyer. Thank you. Jeff's my brother, which is an automatic for me. Nice. With you at his corner, do we stand a chance? I've already come up with a defense plan to help, but I'm gonna have to talk to my brother further on. And as Scott's iPhone rings, and he got it and saw who it is. Would you excuse me? I gotta go take this. And as Scott went and left the living room, while Joanna turned and faced her husband. Well, you heard it. Seems our son Jeff is in good hands. Let's just hope so, because if anything happens to Nate, then I'm afraid it's all over. Meanwhile, at the Good Charm Ridge Manor in the living room, Rachel, Karen, Aaron, and Bradley are talking. So far, Nate's injuries aren't exactly life-threatening. You know he's not gonna see to that, do you? He's right. Nate's gonna use this to his advantage as we know it. Not if I can help it. And as Claire came in, and they all saw her. My husband's arriving at his house, so he'll get back to me when he's finished questioning. What exactly is gonna happen, Claire? I'm not at liberty to say what would happen, and you all know that. Anyways, if you happen to come across any more information, you know where to contact me or my husband. Thank you, Claire. No problem. Excuse me. And as Claire turned and went and left the living room while the others continued talking. Well, we better be going, seeing that your honeymoon has begun. Actually, take your time, while I'm gonna steal her away for a while. Have fun. And as Karen and Bradley went and left the living room, and as Rachel turned to Aaron and said something wrong. What's wrong? Something's not right regarding the revelation of Michael's parents. Meanwhile, at the Grand Promenade, Rebecca, Michelle, and David are talking. Tell me something, so I can sleep better at night. Do you lot always go invited to places where you don't belong, back where you're from? You don't have the slightest clue to what Michelle and I, or please spare me the drama. Look, can you just leave us the hell alone? My husband got a lot of things in our mind that we need to sort. You mean Michael? Who isn't in his Michelle stand-up? Lady, I would really choose my next words wisely. Honey, just leave it, yeah? She isn't worth our time or our energy. And as David got up, let's get out of here. And as Michelle and David went and left the promenade, which Rebecca saw. Meanwhile, at the Seabrook Motel in Sean's room, Angela and Sean are talking. You want to leave town? Yeah. I really need a break to rethink. We strategize. We group. Angela, I know you didn't do what Michelle and David said. You don't think I should go? No. Look, I will agree to every choice you make. It's just your daughter. That's why I'm asking you. Adriana is coming with us. She is my world. You want me to come as well? Of course I do. My daughter and I are gonna need your protection. So what do you say? Meanwhile, at Angela and Vince's house in the living room, Isabella and Vince are talking. Vince, I get the fact that you wouldn't believe that Michelle and David showed up earlier this year. Clearly had an agenda undermined. Really? Are you hearing yourself right now to how daft that sounds? It's the truth, and I think you know that. Look, mate, I'm here for you, Vince, as a friend. Just so you know. And if there's anything, I appreciate that a lot. But we both know a part of you wants more than that. And that's fine. Oh. Okay. Look, I got some things to sort out, but I'll be back. And as Isabella got up and head out, but stopped and turned and faced Vince. By the way, I have no intentions coming between you and your wife, that of your marriage. And as Isabella turned back and went and left Angela in Vince's house. Meanwhile, at the Los Angeles International Hospital in Nate's room, Kristen and Nate are surprised by Vanessa's arrival. And as she came in to where Kristen and Nate is, excuse me, we're having a private conversation. Yeah, I can see that quite clearly. It's fine, Kristen. I thought you were working. Does your husband know you're here? Cause I'm guessing not. She came to see how I am. Really? After what her older brother Jeff did? Which he will pay, by the way. Me brother was just protecting me. Can I talk to my brother alone? Fine. Clearly you two lot look like you have a lot to talk about, so I'll be going. And as Kristen went and left Nate's room with Vanessa coming and closing the door, and then she turned and head back to where her brother is. What? Did you press charges against Jeff? Meanwhile, at the Graham Clinic, Rita and Adam both came out of Brody's room, with Adam closing the door. And as they went down the hall talking, he said that, look, I know how it sounds in all nonsense. What we went through, I believe anything is possible. Besides, we are together, yeah? And as they stop and face each other, yeah, we are. And we have Max as our son. And maybe more along the way. In fact, it might happen sooner than you think. What do you mean by that? Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. You heard me correctly. We're gonna have a baby. Oh my God, and as Adam hugged his wife. I cannot believe this. And as they pull away, I love you. I love you too. And as they begin kissing each other. Meanwhile, at the Oceanside Ridge Manor in the living room, Joanna and Chris are talking. Nate is gonna try his damnedest to make our son pay, given to the tension between our families. Oi, don't stress yourself out. Nate's probably been planning this thing all this time while he's having this little affair. What I don't get is why Michelle and David would, to be honest, Joanna, Nate is truly a Colin at best. He's a man whore, Chris. And as Scott came back in, and Joanna and Chris saw him. What is it? If you two are talking about Nate, I have some good news. That was the hospital. His injuries aren't too serious, so we might have a chance. How did you? I know a person at the hospital who happens to owe me a solid. Well then, it's a good thing Bradley and Aaron stopped Jeff from making the biggest mistake of his life. Yeah, I agree. Otherwise, my brother Jeff could be sent down for first-degree murder.